We're recording. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's the banana? Is that your breakfast?
It is.
Well,
The healthy way.
it's hard being healthy right now.
You know what? That's quite an ironic statement, isn't it? Because if you think about it, yeah, mine, like knowing everything that's been going on with the virus, yeah, it's hard to stay healthy because we don't know how fast it spreads.
Yeah.
But here we are, chilling in our flat with some dudes
Quarantined.
outside. Yeah.
Here by obligation, really.
Mm-hmm.
Today begins the official lockdown.
Yeah. Well,
Or was that yesterday?
there was new measures taken. Yeah. On Friday night, events closed. A lot of bars closed by sort of suggestion. But then within 24 hours, it started becoming more like, no, you're closed now. So that'd be Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, we're sort of like floating rumours about the severities and punishments of being out on the street, which Italy has started. Because in Italy, you get fined for going out on your own without any real reason. And here, all the police forces and all the medical people, whether they be paramedics, drivers, even the La Bombas, the firemen, they're all out there in the shittest of conditions, really, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're going to get sick too.
Yep.
And we're sick, really.
We're sick.
In a way.
Well, I think why don't let's start off with that.
Yeah,
because
I
we're in
think
a unique position. We're here. We're quarantined, but we're sick. We're both sick,
Mm-hmm.
and I think 100% certainty that we have corona.
Well, nothing's 100%, is it? But like,
No.
I'm fairly confident that we've developed the symptoms that they're going on about.
Yeah.
Very dry, awful cough, chest pain, which it genuinely feels like I've breathed in like all sorts of chemicals.
Okay. I don't have the chest pain.
But that might just be me. It's supposed to be a respiratory disease, so it'd be in your throat, or sinuses, eyes, that kind of thing. That's why they ask you to not touch your face and wash your hands.
I can't not do that.
Oh, no.
I Skyped my parents the other day. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I think I have quarantine. And they're like, well, you just need it. And then I scratched my nose and I said, don't touch your face. And it's like, well, I do it, unconsciously anyways, all the time. I can't not touch my face. But if I've got it already, if I'm sick, it's not gonna exacerbate, my conditions, right?
A lot of the studies...
Touch my face all I want!
This is the thing. That timeline from Friday to now, everything has changed so fast.
It's Monday, by the way. It's Monday.
Yes, Monday the 16th of March. And as of now, most countries are considering lockdowns in a similar fashion. It's not like lockdowns where it's like, you're barred from ever going outside though. Like, we can still go to the shops, we can still go to the pharmacy, we can still go to work if it means that we aren't going to places where it's fully crowded and stuff. It's just a case of like, if you don't need to go outside, don't.
But we know that all the public transportation's still running. Closing a little earlier, I've heard.
Yeah, every service is halved.
Mm-hmm.
So every service is halved at least.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you should be able to still get on. But you can't, they're all being monitored, so you can't be in too close proximity with each other.
Okay.
So like a
1 meter apart, people. 1 meter apart.
A third of each carriage of any given carriage is the maximum now.
Yeah.
So you can't have any more people in a given carriage or bus.
Wow. The bakery on the corner across from our place, and that's where I saw the sign. It said un metro and had big arrows drawn. It had the size of a meter, and I said okay. But the bakery is so small that in order to stand inside, you have to be, half meter apart with 3 people inside. So I think a lot of people understand, in theory, how to be safe, but a lot of the foundations aren't built to accommodate those. It's kind of, and then when you go to the grocery store and people are panic buying or whatever, you're going to be in line, brushing shoulders with people. There's no way you're standing a meter apart.
And the other thing about being in a city as well, we are naturally in close proximity to other people. When we leave, if we want to leave the building, we've got to get on an elevator, and immediately that the elevator has been used by others.
Yep.
There's this.
And how small are those elevators?
I know, and there's this lovely little lady just like furiously cleaning the elevator every time somebody uses it.
Oh, poor lady. By the way, we live in a area of Barcelona. What is this neighborhood called?
This is called San Martí.
San Martí. Okay, it's the closest metro station. But a lot of old people around here. When I was coming back into our building the other day, I looked through the lobby and I saw 4 or 5 old people. And I said, I'm just going to wait outside the building. I'm going to let them get in. I don't even want to greet them. I don't want to have that situation where I say, like, hey, you guys go ahead. And they say, no, Baghdad, we have room for you. I don't want to get you guys sick.
It's common sense manners that we can't. Once you get it in you, you can't get it out of you.
Yeah.
But we're all having to try and forget it. I remember seeing this excellent video of Prince Charles doing that. If you watch the video, he goes out like this, and you go, oh, wait, no. And it's just like almost as if you just took the audio out. You'd be like, oh, joking. Like, oh, just too slow.
By the way, how many hilarious videos have you seen of some political figure saying, hey, do not touch hands, do not touch faces, and then they turn around and then they go and they shake somebody's hand immediately after? I just saw a video of Joe Biden, who's one of the leading Democratic front runners for the next U.S. president, and in a 10-second clip, I see him with a Kleenex in his hand, blow his nose, pass it between hands, and then turn to the crowd and go and shake a guy's hand. It's gnarly, it's disgusting, but...
And it's on camera.
And it's on
Sharing
camera.
the message, going, well, if Joe Biden thinks it's okay. It's a lot of common sense that people are going to have to pick up, and from everything that we know, this quarantine is supposed, from a medical perspective, I believe, I am a doctor, by the way, I am
You're
just
not a doctor?
dude. No, I just read a lot. So if you want, I can actually provide cited information. CIDRAP, read up on CIDRAP. We're in Europe, so the ECDC are working with them directly, and the CDC of America. Obviously, all the disease centers in the world are working together to try and get the cures done. China, I feel like, are the guy at the moment in a room at a bar who's fucked up and just gone, well, I've got a plan to fix this, and it's clearly not going to work. And then it doesn't work, and he goes, don't worry, I'll come back with another plan. And that seems to be what's happening at the moment. Like, they're putting evidence up saying, oh, we might have found the cure, we might have done this. Sort of almost rushing themselves ahead of the scientific method. But at the same time, again, a lot of the information that came out via CIDRAP, they quite clearly show you the studies. They give you the studies that they've been doing on the viruses and various other things that they may do. This is something for the future if ever you go and use it. They give you the amount of people that were studied, how many people presented, how many people didn't, and some people that probably weren't considered valid results. So they give you everything about the methodology and in a clearly concise, not jargon language. Yeah. So you can read an article and get informed easily by going to CIDRAP, CIDRAP.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. And they have a website and they just publish articles daily, especially the coronavirus at the moment, or COVID-19 as it's designated, and it's after effects the SARS-CoV-2 disease, which is what causes that's the bit that
could kill people, right?
That's the bit that really
leads to pneumonia and lungs shutting down.
Problems. Yeah. So that's what the elderly or anybody who's immunodeficient is worried about. That's what has caused most of this lockdown. Because obviously, if it wasn't so deadly, at least to a certain demographic, it would more have been just like the original SARS outbreak. Contain the cases really well, really fast.
Well, SARS was about 10 years ago?
2009.
2009. Okay, so just about.
SARS is the condition that's caused by a virus.
S. What's the S? Something acute respiratory syndrome.
I can't remember what it's called. This is the one thing I can appreciate about doctors, right? Is they remember all of those words. Yeah. They know because they've spent years, like a 10th of their life, maybe a 5th of their life, studying this. Another great study as well, gone into the fact that amount of mild cases that have gone undetected
Mm-hmm.
because people thought it was just a flu.
Yeah.
Healthy,
Yeah.
normal people
Mm-hmm.
walking around, coughing it around,
Mm-hmm.
having their body developing the immunity quite quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and then just passing the virus on during its infectious phase before it was eradicated, and then we have this.
I think with this, in terms of how I've been feeling, how you've been feeling, when we discuss every day, you told me right when we started kind of saying like, I feel a little odd today. You told me, well, you'd be sure you have it.
By Friday.
And I was sure.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like a flu. Supposedly, there are people who don't show symptoms. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So another reason to quarantine yourself, whether you feel sick or not, or you don't want to be passing that to other people. You could have signs. But tell me everything you felt over these past 5 or so days, just so we know what to look out for.
Well, originally I was out being fit. What I'd noticed is that during some of these exercises, I would have experienced a shortness of breath. But again, I was just like, well, it felt exactly the same as getting a cough, a bad cough, having a bad night's sleep, waking up the next morning, feeling a little rough, and then you carry on with your day. But then we can misinterpret our own symptoms and then self-diagnose and then panic too quickly.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people may have already done. But at the same time, we don't see it because we've obviously got larger global things going on where everybody's actually doing a relatively accurate response.
Mm-hmm.
So like some people just like, right, I'm self-isolating, I got a cold.
Mm-hmm.
And originally there was this, I think, very bad vibe, very bad advice given by some people who be bosses or whatever to say, well, you probably don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's nice to say to make somebody feel better.
It's nice to hear.
It's nice to hear, but unfortunately that's not the likelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it's going to kill you, but like, yeah, lay you out for a week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't actually feel like I'm going to be laid out for a week. I have a headache.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, comment if you guys agree, but this is a fun little thing I remember learning when I was a kid in school. When we get sick and we push our eyes to the side of our sockets, it would hurt. So if anybody else agrees and sees this, whenever they have a cold or the flu and they go, and they know, like an early warning system, there's a bit of pain behind the eyes, they go, right, like, no, I'm definitely ill now.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting, I imagine it's been debunked because I was like, this was 10 years ago now, that more than 10 years, 15 years ago. Yesterday was worse as well. I was coughing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely was getting worse and worse and worse as I was editing, as I was getting some work done. It was just like I couldn't, like every time I coughed, and then when I went to sleep I was like, right, I'm just going to commit myself to not cough because but I feel healthy this morning. I feel like this is probably going to be what it's going to be for me.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Well, so well, first of all, we're on day, it's Monday. When did we first had symptoms? About 5 days ago? 6 days ago?
Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah.
Tuesday, so Tuesday I went out, I felt fine. I watched a football game. That's football as the rest of the world says it, not as Americans say it. So when I watched Liverpool lose, I had a few beers. Probably 3 of those I can drink, and wasn't anything. It's just a regular Tuesday night in Spain. I woke up the next day, I had a splitting headache, and I said, holy shit. I guess it's a hangover?
Yeah.
As I went through the day, I just kind of chalked it up as a hangover. The next day, the headache was alleviated a bit, but I still didn't feel great. It feels like a very mild, like if my head was in a vice maybe, with one of the loosest settings on there, but you could still feel it. There's still a vice on my head. Just a constant pressure being applied, like from my temples inward. The eyes that you mentioned, totally. Not to a huge degree, but if I look around like this, I do feel it. It's a kind of a burn behind my eyes. I did have a kind of burn in my throat, but my throat's gotten better. Well, Tuesday when I went out that day to watch the football game, I also went rock climbing, and the next day I felt sore. Supposedly, full body or just aches somewhere in your body is another symptom. I just assumed that was due to rock climbing or bouldering, I guess they say. I just kind of said, well, you know what? That's just the bouldering doing its work on my body. So head, eyes, bit of throat, the body pain. There's just been this drab. It's not that I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't really feel the will to go out and be super.
I think that's a really interesting thing to touch on as well. Like, most of the world's going to go through the experience of a lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can quite comfortably say that with the infections and the way that this spreads, it's very likely people are going to be mandatory asked to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's boring. We're a very social race.
Yeah.
And we need to be around other people doing things. You know, if you aren't going to work for 2 weeks, but you're also not on holiday and you're just confined to your room, that's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if, like, you have a couple of days off, you know, even a week for people who are gamers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A friend of mine who is an avid gamer, I mean, I know, because I know him so well, he's probably looking at this going, this is going to be great.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, he's going to be like, this is excellent, I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to be playing Witcher 3 again. So, like, he's looking at, even I know that there are going to be points towards the end, especially 10 days in, where he's going to be like, yeah, this is kind of shit.
I need a new game.
Yeah, but he gets to work from home. So, like, a lot of people who are doing self-employment, unemployment, creator work, they're going to be hit hard. This is our way of getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
So, like, this is something I would recommend to anybody. If you are bored, just do something. Try and pick up a language, try and call people, call friends.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, you might not be able to go to the bar. You might not be able to go down to your nan's if you know you're infected. Or your
down to your who's?
Your nan's. Your
Can
granny.
you,
Your granny. You can't go visit your elderly family, really.
Yeah.
Call them. That's what I recommend. Call them, get on the phone, make them feel better.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they want to hear your voice. They want to hear you talk to them. They want to know about how safe you are. You know, that will help. And all of this communication between other people will make these 2 weeks in your given country just fly by.
There was a time, I would say about 24 hours ago, where I said that, hey, Gifty, I don't know if I'm going to stay here. I mean, I don't know what the point is. Like, I travel, my time is limited when I am living abroad, so I don't really want to be spending my time here in Barcelona locked down, you know? Yeah. But then we kind of put our heads together and we said, let's make the most of this. Let's not just cope, let's thrive.
Exactly.
Let's document this. This is a once in a lifetime, possibly, hopefully.
I hope so. Because, I mean, as fun as we thought the films were, they're just disaster films. They're dramatic and entertaining. This is not entertaining. No.
But it can be entertaining. It can be entertaining. It can be a positive experience for everyone out there. And use this. Use this as an opportunity. Learn a skill. Follow some dream. Like, you know, just do more than sit on your ass. Take this to heart. You may never get this little opportunity again. This could be a vacation if you see it that way. It could be a diversion, or it could be work. It could be a creative foray. So what I, and I'm sure you, would encourage people to do is get out there, make your voice heard, and you know, keep your ears to the streets. This is, you know, for creative people, this is where the creativity could potentially shine.
Exactly. I mean, we saw it in Italy. We saw a bunch of people going, screw this, we're going to be inside. Well, I've got a piano, I've got a guitar, and I remember seeing this absolutely great viral video of people playing I'm Staying Alive.
It's amazing.
in Italian as well. And I was like, this is the kind of vibe we have friends here doing balcony shows right here in Barcelona. I mean, right now the weather is absolutely terrible.
Oh, perfect day for the lockdown to start.
Yeah.
Well, what's next? I know we have a scheduled. What's going on today?
On our live stream, it's got next week's sort of balconies. So anybody who's watching in Barcelona who wants to get an idea of what kind of events or things that people are trying to plan, doing the best that they can in confinement.
Mm-hmm.
There's a schedule.
Well, we'll be there, and stay tuned. It's gonna get interesting.
Yeah, even if our symptoms develop, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep putting loads of different things.
And by the way, let's just slip this in there. My name is Darby.
Oh yeah.
I'm from Chicago, and yeah.
And I'm Gifty. I'm a musician and show host. I've been living here in Barcelona for a couple of years. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah. Future updates. We're gonna cover how the rest of the world is dealing with this. Allow us to do our research first, but
oh yeah, by all means, please do fact check us.
And
if
yes,
there's something we said wrong, because everything we say is going to be on the day that we say it. Especially if we're doing things live stream, there'll be things that we might say that we heard about as a rumor. People should definitely correct us. We are never 100% correct. I don't think anybody could be. We're doing this on random equipment I have in the house, our mobile phones, the audio equipment I use for recording. So the quality we have is what we can get. We're quite lucky to have been both in the same place. So we'll share what we can and keep going.
All right, people. Hasta la próxima. Stay tuned.